Parents with nanny cams, what have you caught your babysitter doing? Welcome back, folks. Today, we will take a look at a thread where Redditors caught their babysitters off guard. While most of these stories are appalling, a few of these Reddit shares prove there really are compassionate babysitters too. So, let's begin with the first share. A friend caught his nanny hitting their kid for interrupting a day's binge of the TV show Friends. If you think this is horrific, wait till you read the next one. Well, a case which happened near where I live. Woman used to work, husband out of the country, had a 2-year-old kid. They hired a nanny to look after him during daytime. Day by day, kid starts looking malnourished, so she set up a spy cam. Apparently, the lady used to bring her kid and feed him all the food left for the kid she was supposed to babysit. Then she would feed the kid cheap biscuits. She was promptly handed over to the police. I was with the kiddo. My mom often tells the story about how she watched me give a big old hug to my babysitter who just broke down out of nowhere after serving me lunch. Turns out her dad had died a month back and it just wasn't a good day for her. I still remember you, Miss Nancy. I hope you're doing just fine now. Yeah, we wish all the good things for her. The next story is a breath of fresh air. Once, I was at the very last moment when no other babysitter was available. I hired one that was sort of notorious for not being good. I mean, not dangerous or anything like leaving the kid unattended, but like the type of thing where she would not console the child if they were crying, punish them for doing small things. While away, I was very suspicious, so I continuously was glancing at the baby cam. The babysitter was playing with him, singing songs, and completely engaging him well beyond the way you would expect someone who is considered a bad babysitter to act. Essentially, what happened was the babysitter got hired by a crazy parent who didn't like her at all, so they spread a bunch of mumbo-jumbo through the neighborhood. When I came home, I gave her a very large tip, and she was the one I always hired whenever I needed a babysitter. I've been a pretty regular weekend nanny for an amazing family for 4 years now. They've cycled through a couple different weekday nannies since I've been with them, but there is only one monitor, and it's in the little dude's room. Once, the mom showed me the camera why they let the one go. Little dude said, "Mommy said I don't have to do that." And the nanny snapped back, "Well, it doesn't matter, mommy is a bitch," and then dragged the kid out of the room by his shirt. Super fired. Not a nanny cam because this happened in the 90s, and I don't think we had them in Scotland, but my mom came home early one day because she had become suspicious of our nanny, as my sister and I never slept after a day with her. She found both my sister and I in bed in the middle of the day. Turned out, my nanny had been dosing us up with child medicine to make us sleep all day so she could sit and do nothing. Can someone be more ruthless? My mom put a nanny cam in my sister's bedroom. The only disturbing thing my mom allegedly saw was the babysitter crying while holding my sister. Turns out, the babysitter just had a miscarriage the day before. This isn't a bad one. My parents caught the babysitter carrying our 60-pound golden retriever like he was a baby. How cute. Now, let's move on to the next one. A little late to the party, but here goes. My mom suspected our maid of stealing the silverware, and she's just nosy. Anyway, the maid was indeed stealing the silverware. I think that ended up being overshadowed by my dad, though. Thanks for the gold. Who knew my dad's infidelity would one day pay off? That's one awkward ending. The next story might not be about a babysitter, but it's still awe-inspiring. We have a security camera in my bedroom for my free roam bunny, so we can keep an eye on her whilst we work. If we go on holiday, etc. Well, my dad, he's 50 and a big bloke who acts like he doesn't like pets to come over and visits one day while I'm out. He went to the room, crouched down, calling the bunny. He just spent an hour trying to pet the rabbit and kept repeating in a soft voice, "I'm not gonna hurt you. I just want to pet you and see how fluffy you are." He just about shit himself when I spoke through the security cam to tell him she's very fluffy. Not me, but my aunt's friend set up a nanny cam because she noticed that every time she changed her child's diaper, the child would start crying a lot more than usual. Turns out, when they watched the nanny change her diaper, she would use Clorox wipes if they were nearby, instead of grabbing the baby wipes. Edit. For anyone wondering what happened afterward, they fired the nanny immediately, and the father became a stay-at-home dad. It's scary to know that there are really mean people out there. For a change, the next story about a dog sitter will melt your heart. My family bought one to see our dogs when we leave on vacation twice a year. It's where they can hear us, and we thought it'd be great. We hardly use it. We also asked our maid to dog sit for us while we were out. Once, when we looked at the feed, we saw the dog sitter there a solid 30 minutes early just petting the dogs and playing with them. She's since retired from working, but she was the sweetest old lady, and we love her. Another time, my dad left a wad of cash onto the washing machine, about $600, and she put a rubber band around it with a note saying he misplaced it. My grandpa was staying with the parents, but they figured it's best to hire the regular sitter to watch my younger siblings overnight, since they didn't think Grandpa was up to the task, and they were attending a wedding a couple hours away and made plans to stay the night in a hotel nearby. They had set a nanny cam up in a couple rooms, my siblings' bedroom, the master bedroom, living room, and kitchen, all motion activated. They normally wouldn't bother looking through the footage if everything seemed fine upon returning home and their master bedroom cam had never been triggered before. When they returned, they noticed that the cam in the master bedroom had been triggered, so they decided to take a look. Cut to footage of my grandpa and the sitter, both naked, aggressively making out from the entrance of the room, staggering while intertwined towards the beds, and then about 20 minutes of banging on my parents' bed. The sitter was about 20 years old, and my grandpa was around 70 at the time. My dad called me immediately after he saw the footage, laughing his ass off, and I could hear my mom crying in the background, completely mortified from what she had just witnessed and shouting at my dad to throw out the sheets and kick out Grandpa. My mom called the sitter to confront her, and she just apologized and said there was some connection or some shit to the matter. When she asked my grandpa what he was thinking, he just said, "At my age, you must seize every opportunity." I wish there was audio for the build-up. I lay awake at night sometimes, just wondering what kind of game my grandpa was talking to get in that sitter's pants. Seems like Grandpa's still got game. Now be ready for a rather horrific story. This isn't something that I caught the babysitter doing, but I remember that once I saw on live TV the case of some parents that went to the doctor with their baby because she cried a lot for apparently no reason. The doctor told them she looked really stressed and asked them if they were doing something that would make her act like that. They didn't. Then the doctor and the parents noticed some really tiny dots in the girl's belly, and they had no idea where they came from. The babysitter told them they had no idea, and they didn't believe her, and secretly put cameras to spy on what she was doing. Turns out she was crazy. She was stabbing the baby with a needle from time to time and doing things like shaking her cradle incredibly hard to torment her. Of course, they called the police, confronted her, and she got arrested. This next story isn't any less horrific, too. We once thought the nanny was putting charcoal to feed as a snack. The woman claimed that she thought it was a snack. It was in a charcoal box. My brothers were 4. My aunt has a nanny cam and found my older cousin's babysitter playing blackjack with him. She lost $50. That is one fun babysitter, right? Reddit thread proved to be pretty eye-opening to realize that not every babysitter is kind-hearted and trustworthy. Seems like it's safer to have nanny cam installed. So what do you think? Do you believe the babysitters need to be informed prior about their monitoring? Or is it better to just catch them off guard? Comment your views down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting Reddit stories like these.